evening. Welcome to today's edition of Staying Stainless with Linda. We are shocked and horrified to bring you yet another sad event in the life of this time a 5-year-old boy. The boy whose name is withheld is now deceased. Unfortunately, he was raped by a man whose name is Sikuru Ajiboa, who's 36. Sikuru Ajiboa is a 36-year-old man from Ogun State in Nigeria. He had unlawful carnal knowledge of the boy who was 5 years old. He simply descended on the boy and raped that boy to death. This story touches our hearts. We wonder what the world is turning to. Why would a 36-year-old man rape a 5-year-old boy? The man, whose name is Sikura Ajiboa, is suspected to be a homosexual. And as you know, in Nigeria, homosexuality has not been legalized. The people of Ogun State, as well as the village where this happened, are in shock. They don't know what to do. The question is, should jungle justice take place? A few of the community members who were around the small town, when they heard about it, they wanted to descend on Sikura Ajiboa in order to beat him to death. That is called jungle justice. And it is so savage that sometimes in cases like this, community members and neighbors wonder if that's the right thing to do. But the police command that is lodged at Ogui in Ogui Division, the police headquarters, actually decided to handle the case by themselves. So, Sikura Ajiboa, who is 36, will most likely end up at Kirikiri prison or any other prison for life. But here is the question. What is the world turning to? Recently, we brought you a story about a maid, a female maid who was beaten to death. Actually, she was being beaten by her employer to the point where she went into convulsions. When she went into convulsions, her employer took her to the nearest hospital where she passed away. And when she died, the employer went back to the hospital, picked up her body, and took her to the backyard of the house and just trashed her behind the house. It was only when her decaying corpse was so bad that the community began to ask questions about what was smelling around the area and why that girl was no longer being seen near the area. So that led to the woman confessing. But in this particular case, which is another horrific case, we wish we could just bring you happy stories, but a 5-year-old boy. I mean, how low could you get to rape a 5-year-old boy to death? Sikura Ajiboa descended on a 5-year-old boy and kept raping the boy until the boy ran out of breath. He did not stop. He made no attempt to even call anybody when the boy couldn't breathe anymore. He kept raping that boy until that boy passed away. We are so saddened by this horrific, terrible, awful, disgusting. It's so disgusting, I could throw up right now. It is horrific to think that a 36-year-old man in Ogun State of Nigeria would do such a thing to a 5-year-old boy. What is this world turning to? Especially in Nigeria. In another incident, a man stabbed his own mother to death. In another incident, a group of kidnappers kidnapped a man who had returned from the United States, and they waited until his family brought them money before they released him. And in another event, the same incident, similar incident took place. How it happened was this. A gentleman who is very well off, very well to do, arrived from the United States to Nigeria. The Nigerian kidnappers gathered around and watched him spray so much dollars around his party. And after he had finished spraying the money, he came home to bury his father. And after he finished spraying money, they simply allowed him to depart. He left Nigeria, went back to the United States. Then the kidnappers went and kidnapped his mother. When they kidnapped his mother, they said, "Oh, we were waiting for you to get back to the United States so you can send us 150 million naira." This is unbelievable. So we are staying stainless with Linda is using this opportunity to plead, to beg the people who are committing all these crimes to quit. Please stop. You can't possibly have a country that is full of evangelization, of so many good Christians or people who claim to be great pastors, but a 5-year-old boy is raped. We are outraged right here at Uketv. Staying stainless with Linda, we're speechless. We don't know what to say anymore. But stay positive with us, stay stainless. We'll keep you updated as to what happens to Sikura Ajibowa. And we'd like to thank the Ogijo Division Police Headquarters in Ogun State for apprehending the culprit, who is Sikura Ajibowa. He's 36 years old and he has actually confessed to this crime. It is unbelievable. Stay stainless.